You're listening to Next Level Thinking on St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9.
Welcome back, listeners, to Next Level Thinking. I'm your host, Stephanie Hassett, and I have Caroline and Sana with me here today. For those who are just tuning in, we are discussing happiness. We're discussing what happiness is and how it's actually a chemical makeup in our body. We require certain hormones to balance out that happiness and to increase happiness or to decrease happiness. In the previous segment, we also discussed that how happiness, we're kind of born with it in a certain way. We're kind of born with a certain level of happiness already. And that certain things that happen to us, that happen in our environment, can influence that. It can influence it positively or negatively. We also discussed that how we actually are pretty resilient already and that certain downfalls in our lives can help us become more happy or become happier over time. Now, in this segment, we want to discuss more and we want to focus more on how we can become more happy, how we can take more control, on our own happiness in life.
We already mentioned the hugs. I want to mention them again.
You want to, how important these hugs are. Yeah. Exactly.
Let's take some time out to give Sana a hug.
Hugs are good.
No, but that's indeed, it really is true. That physical contact moment, but also smiling.
Smiling.
It might sound odd, but it actually can lift that happiness feeling, activate that happiness feeling.
Well, it's true, because I have that. When you enter a store, you see someone, and when you give a smile, you're so much faster to receive a smile back. And when it happens to me, it feels good. I feel like, it's a good day. I feel like it's like, the clouds just separate and the sun just starts shining. It just really feels like that sometimes.
Completely true. And especially when someone doesn't expect that smile of you or that good morning or that,
Yeah. It's such a difference than when someone says good morning. Or they come up to you and say, hey, good morning. And you're like, okay, yeah. Hey, good morning. It is a good morning. It really helps how people, what the energy that they give you and the energy that you receive.
You feel it in your body as well. It's not just showing them that smile and just continuing your day. I really feel that energy in my body. It's like an uplifting
It's funny because it's going on right now. Like someone said smiling and everyone started smiling and I know just like, yes, let's smile, people. This is a good segment. We're going to talk about how to get happy. Yeah.
And that makes you feel good immediately. So it has a direct effect on your happiness level. So that's a good thing. So every now and then, wake up, stand up, smile, be active with that. Look in the mirror, smile to yourself for a moment.
So I recently listened to a TED Talk. And I can't really remember who it was, but this lady said something really nice. She said, fake it until you become it. So not fake it until you make it. Fake it until you become it. And it's like taking this, I don't know if anyone watches this cool series about all these doctors in a hospital. It's been going on for ages. In one of the episodes, this started off at one of the surgeons had to do a very important surgery. And they did this super Wonder Woman pose in the beginning. And just standing like that for 2 minutes, taking this grandeur pose, this pose of, feeling big and strong really helped. It boosted confidence. It boosted. So I can imagine with happiness, if you just put on that smile, if you just let your body give that message that it internalizes eventually.
So it's both ways. It's not just thinking about happiness and then you start feeling happiness, but it's also about changing your posture in a happy posture.
Right.
And that's sending the message to your brain. And then instantly you think about happy thoughts.
Yeah, or at least it can help. It doesn't always work like instantly, but it can help to get you in that state. So that's a good thing. And then you have to do other things as well. Did you ever hear of the saying, stop and smell the roses? That's also a saying that you can use.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, stop and smell the roses is something that, that can also help with creating happiness. Did you know that scent also has an influence on our happiness level?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if every now and then, I think you told in the episode before that every now and then you water plants, right? To have your mindfulness moment. Mm-hmm. And maybe if you get some flowers there too and smell them every now and then, that will help also with that.
Just take in that lovely flowery scent.
It influences your happiness, but also to become calm, people use scent as well.
Yeah. Well, and I can imagine, I mean, if if my aunt, for example, makes yamba, or she makes stoba, or she makes one of the good things, then I come in and I just smell it, and immediately you're like, this is good. I feel good. There's good food coming.
I hear your smile even now, right? Your smile is there, and I see it, but the people listening cannot see it, of course. But you can even hear it in the way that you're talking, that you're smiling.
That smell instantly triggers a memory, instantly triggers that thought, that feeling of, yes, that makes me happy. A good plate of food.
Yeah. And also colors have an influence on how we feel. And there's even a study that says that colors go really hand in hand with happiness. For example, yellow is the color related to happiness, to feeling happy. And gray is something that is more related to depression.
I can imagine.
I actually had clients before, and it was a young lady in the Netherlands, and she used to wear a lot of black. But on some days, when she felt a little bit better, she wore red. So you could see on just by looking at the clothes that she was wearing in that, telling us how she felt that day.
Right.
Yeah, we often express ourselves with that on that level. And that is also, it's infectious, right? It's happiness. If you see a happy person, that can like jump over to you. And we can help others by being happy.
Yeah, I can. But maybe also by taking someone to do something that makes you feel happy. We discussed dopamine in the previous segment, that activator hormone. Mm-hmm. I know that if I stay at home and I sit down, some days you just have like lazy days. I don't necessarily feel sad, but when I stay in this complacent mode, nothing really happens. It doesn't really trigger anything. While when someone comes to the door like spontaneously and says, you know what, let's go for a drink. Like this activator hormone just quickly kicks in and I feel better. I feel happier. So you can take other people with you in that happiness, and you can activate them to share and join in that happiness as well in that way.
Yeah, in our brain, we have mirror neurons, we call that. And that is something that kind of mirrors that person in front of you. You take over emotions from the other quite easily.
True.
So not only sadness, when you see people crying or just watch a sad movie, you start crying, but it also happens when people are happy and are laughing. Think about a laugh therapy.
Yeah. Exactly. Or when you hear a contagious laugh, sometimes you don't even know what people are laughing about, but you notice.
You just start laughing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, there's this movie on the internet. There's this guy on a TV show in America, and I think he just starts laughing and he cannot stop. But his laugh is like contagious. So funny. It's like like that, and then it goes on and on and on.
It's already working,
and it's like when you look at it, you just gotta laugh at a certain moment. You don't know why exactly, but it's so contagious. It's so funny.
So we have laugh therapy. That's something we just mentioned. There are different other therapies.
Do you use that in your therapy session? By the way, laugh therapy.
Honestly, I don't. I've did it before. It was we did an exercise that is used in laugh therapy, and it was hilarious. We had to lay in a circle, and we had to put our heads on someone else's stomach. So what happens to your stomach when you laugh? It goes crazy, it goes up and down. So as soon as you feel that and you hear someone laughing and your head goes up and down, it bobs. It was ridiculous, I know. And we as a group, we knew each other a little bit better than doing this with strangers, but it was hilarious. It really helped. No one knew why they were laughing, but it happened. It was contagious.
So funny. Yeah, we don't use it as psychologists often in our therapy, but we are aware of the emotion, and especially what kind of emotions we're displaying to the client or the client to us, and how to make use of that. That we are aware of.
Right. So there are various ways, right, we discussed during this segment, and how to create that happiness for ourselves, but also very importantly for others. I think we all noticed that during this segment we discussed factors that we can do ourselves, but also how we can influence others to feel. a little bit better, to feel a little bit happier, that we can give off a certain energy and we can activate other people towards that level of happiness, and they can do the same for us. During our next segment, we'll discuss a little bit more about happiness. So stay tuned to Next Level Thinking on Government Radio 107.9.
Next Level Thinking.
Coronavirus is most likely to spread from person to person when we come into close contact with one another. We can all help stop the spread by keeping our distance. This means do not shake hands or exchange physical greetings, and wherever possible, stay at least 1.5 to 2 meters away from others. It's also really important to practice good hygiene, especially after being in public places. Together we can help stop the spread and stay healthy. Visit stmartingov.org/coronavirus or call 914 to learn more. This public service announcement is brought to you by the government of St. Martin. Think tsunamis only happen somewhere else? Think again. They've happened in the Caribbean and will happen again. Plan to act. If you are near the coast and feel the ground shaking severely, see an abnormal withdrawal of water, or hear an unusual roar, take action and quickly run to high ground. This message is brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
I am Shanisha Robinson, your reigning teen queen, with this message. More than 80% of our economy is dependent on tourism. Our beaches are severely under threat by massive plastic pollution. We cannot continue to destroy our beaches as our livelihoods depend on it. The next time you visit a beach, please take your trash with you or put it in the bin. Keep it clean, keep it blue. This message is brought to you by the St. Martin Tourism Bureau and the Department of Communication.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Tamara, it's me, Earthquake, coming in Tuesday around 10. No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it comes, it'll shake all the sense and the sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking start and you know it's an earthquake, make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit, and the stairs that may be broke up or even full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and then poof, power gone, and you're stuck in a box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls in an earthquake, that is bad news. Take care of yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drops and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't bother run outside and ask, "You feel it? You feel it?" Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on.
This public service announcement was brought to you by Sedima and the government of St. Martin.
Hi, I'm Dominique Fleming and I'm a communications major at Han University in the Netherlands. I chose this field to learn how I can effectively communicate to make a difference. Sharing relevant information and raising awareness about important topics like single-use plastic is one way I can make an impact. Approximately 8 tons of plastic end up in our oceans every year, ultimately killing or affecting marine wildlife. Do your part by reducing your plastic use today so St. Martin can be plastic-free by 2023.
Tired of having to search through written job applications? Is it costing your company too much to find suitable talent? JobOpportunity.sx makes paper applications a thing of the past. Find all of your recruitment needs in one place with live email updates, accessible from anywhere in the world, and it's free. Creating your profile is fast and easy. JobOpportunity.sx. Call 520-5279 for more info and take your business recruiting methods to the next level.
It's hard to make big changes in life. The energy, time, and commitment are often too great. That's why many men in our community struggle with their health. The Department of Collective Prevention Services is encouraging all men in our community to take the positive step and get checked. Schedule your annual medical screening, practice a healthy lifestyle by eating healthy, exercise regularly, and practice safe sex consistently. This message is brought to you by Collective Prevention Services, a department of the Ministry of Health.
I was deceived about the nature of my job. I was abducted and sold. All my documents were confiscated and money was withheld from me. I was isolated and confined to one area. I was forced into prostitution. I was forced to lie to authorities and my family. Now that you know, what will you do?
You can help.
by calling the National Reporting Bureau on Human Trafficking at 542-1553 or send email to naticotip@gmail.com. Human trafficking and exploitation. Please report it. Do you have plans to travel for medical purposes or for a family vacation? Don't let an expired passport ruin your plans. Ensure that your passport is valid at all times. Schedule an appointment today to renew your identification documents by going online to appointments.stmartingov.org/services or call 542-0652. Remember, your identity is your responsibility. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Civil Registry Department.
Hi, my name is Ayana Durin and I attend the St. Martin Academy High School. This month we learn about single-use plastic and how it negatively affects our environment. Did you know that human beings consume about 250 grams of plastic per year? To learn more about single-use plastic and how you can do your part, contact the Department of Interior and Kingdom Relations via Facebook. Let's all help reduce, reuse, and recycle so St. Martin can be plastic-free by 2023.
Hi, what's up, St. Martin? My name is Rene Leverett, and I play baseball. And I've represented St. Martin in numerous international tournaments and professionally around the world. Sports matters to me because it reveals and develops character. So I challenge the business community to step up for sports and help us rebuild and repair our facilities. I also ask the community to nominate local businesses in your area to take the challenge and step up for sports. Because #sports matters, #are you in?
When disaster strikes, it affects all of us.
Yeah, girl. Tell Desan to come and see me. I'll put her name at the top of the list.
You need to know that as a citizen, your rights are always protected.
I just need help.
Here, fill those out.
I have filled out this form 3 times already. I need help. This is just a waste of time.
If you feel your rights have been violated or have a legitimate complaint against any government body, even in these troubling times, we are here to listen to and act upon your concerns. The Ombudsman will use all of its resources to seek a fair resolution, keeping the government fully accountable. The Ombudsman, protecting your rights. Brought to you by the International Ombudsman Institute.
You are listening to Next Level Thinking on St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9.
Welcome back, listeners, to Next Level Thinking. I'm your host, Stephanie Hassett, and I'm here with Caroline and Sana. For those who are just tuning in, we are talking about happiness today. That glowy, bright, sunshiny feeling. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about how we have a certain level of happiness and how we can influence that by doing certain things ourselves, or also by seeing other people be happiness and by them transmitting kind of their happiness to us. So we're going to discuss a little bit more about that because we were also talking about laugh therapy and how we don't really use laugh therapy as psychologists, but there is some therapy that we do use. It's not similar to laugh therapy, but it's in that direction.
Well, actually, what I use a lot is from a positive psychology perspective, thinking about happiness. What I discuss with clients a lot is what their values are in life. Because sometimes when you are out of balance and you suffer from negative thoughts and depression, anxiety, other difficult things, you seem to get lost sight of those values, and then the goal-directed activities in life get lost as well. And in that sense, you're not focused on achieving happiness, but more in finding your way to get out of the problems. And that doesn't always work. So positive psychology is definitely a perspective that I use a lot in therapy.
Yeah, I recognize that. And what I also use is solution-focused therapy techniques. And that is something different than what we used to do like 10, 20 years ago, where we're more focused on what is going on, why are your problems here, what is related to your problems, is now to turn it around and then say, when do you not have this problem? Can you tell me more about that? And what did you do that was helpful for you? So focusing on the solutions that you already have. And one of the things, for example, that is being asked is the miracle question. You know that one? The miracle question? Maybe some of our listeners do not know it yet. So let's explain it a little bit in the sense of how did it go again? If you go to sleep, you had a long day, and you get ready for bed, and you have a good night, and then you wake up. The alarm goes off, and what you didn't know is that a miracle happened that night. And you wake up and your problem is gone. What is then the first thing that you notice that something happened? How do you notice then that a miracle happened? And by thinking about it in that sense, it can help you to look at it from a different perspective. And it can boost your feelings and empower. And it's something that you can use in your daily life as well. Don't try to dwell on what goes wrong and why, but try also to think about when it went right and why that was.
And get in touch more with your strengths, to get on top of it.
Yeah.
Again.
So both these methods focus more on the solutions, because as Caroline said, normally we were used to focusing on the problem. Okay, you come into a therapist and it's, okay, let's see what is wrong with you. Where is the issue? Because if we know the root of the problem, we'll fix the root. And that's kind of how we used to work in psychology. But we see a shift, positive psychology, solution-focused therapy, that we are looking more at, okay, we acknowledge there is an issue. We see that you're struggling with something. Let's see how we can fix that. Let's see what strengths, what qualities, what skills, what tools you already have that we can use, that we can strengthen now so that you can better deal with that difficulty.
Yeah, so it's a different way of fixing. You're not going to fix the issue, but you're going to see how you can deal with the issue. So in that sense also, what do you need to be able to reach that happiness feeling again if you feel depressed? Like the saying, what if you fall? But baby, what if you fly?
Yeah, and in that sense, I also think that the long-term effects of this kind of therapy, more on solution-focused, the positive psychology, it has long-term effects. It's not only finding a solution for the problem that you want to be addressed, but it is about coping skills.
Right.
Because life is going to throw more problems at you, unfortunately.
And we're not always going to be able to undo them or clean it up or fix that.
No.
It's just going to happen.
No, if you believe in a life with constant happiness, like we told before, like we said before, that's not realistic. Then you're living in a fairy tale. And that's not what real life is. Life sometimes is pain. Life sometimes is suffering. And then also, luckily, that's not continuously either. So you can also have the good moments again. And then another important technique that we often use, and I think it's kind of already in the solution-focused therapy, but it's reframing. That's a cognitive technique. And in the Netherlands, you got a movement going on. It's called omdenken. I think in freely translated, it's flip thinking, or seeing things upside down, or turning things upside down. And that is about how do you perceive things. The pessimist sees the glass half empty, right? The optimist sees it as half full. But the movement takes a third approach. Where's the tap? How can you fill the bottle or the glass?
Right.
So that is not thinking about how do you see it, but let's take another route.
It's not bad. Or
right. Whatever it is, I want more in my glass.
Yeah. Well, you all know, right? When there's something going on, and for example, you have a great idea, and all you hear are the yes buts. Yes, but we had tried that before and it didn't work. Or yes, but shouldn't we just sit down for a while? Or yes, but what if it doesn't work? And all those yes and buts, they make you feel down, right? And it feels like all your ideas are buried at that moment and you lose your energy. But then you can take on the yes and attitude. So even try it sometimes. Instead of when you're noticing that you're seeing buts a lot, say and. So instead of yes, but shouldn't we do it, it's like yes and. And the result most of the time is that you create more creativity and space to...
Right. Because if you say yes, but, you're kind of discounting whatever has been said before. So it's, yeah, but, yeah,
you're
so
not
that's
saying
not
yes.
right. So, okay, yeah. And if you say yes, and that means yes, I can do that, and I can look for another strategy, method, technique. Yeah.
Or yes, I want to achieve something, and yes, it's going to be difficult.
Exactly.
That's a challenge.
But it's going to be hard, so let me just not do it. You hear that often.
Yeah.
But if we say it the way you just said it, Sana, then it's like, yeah, let's do it. And it's going to be difficult, but I'm still going to do it.
Indeed.
Right.
There's your motivation.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So that can be very, very helpful, that reframing, that seeing things differently, taking on a different perspective and approaching difficulties, challenges in a different way.
And being aware of how full your cup is also concerning happiness or depression or those kind of things. And sometimes we really need to practice gratitude, for example. Mm-hmm. Because when our life is tough, then we kind of need to find some moments to practice gratitude. And research actually showed that people who are looking for gratitude moments in life more actively feel happier.
And what are those gratitude moments?
Well, it can be small things by actively thinking, what am I thankful for today? What went well? What went good? But also, if you have a negative comment about somebody or yourself, also say 4 positive ones. Because, we always remember that last one, that negative part, and we kind of need to balance it. It's 4 against 1 concerning compliments and critique. Remember that with your children, by the way.
So during this segment, we discussed happiness, right? We discussed how can we get to that happiness. We discussed that as psychologists, we also incorporate that. We also look for happiness with our clients. Of course we do. Of course we have clients come in and say, we want to be more happy. But we don't tell them, well, you know what? You can be happy and everything is going to be perfect in your life. We're going to erase all the things that went bad. What we do is together with our clients through positive psychology or solution-focused therapy is we would look at, okay, what's going on? Okay, it's fine. That's there. Let's see what you have in your toolkit to work through this. And by doing that, by strengthening that person in front of us, we don't only give them tools to work on with that specific issue, but we give them tools for in the future. Now, that's why we realize that happiness is such an important factor and such an important element of psychology as well, because it's something that we as human beings strive for every single day. We should, but we should just be realistic about it. Thank you so much for listening today to Next Level Thinking with your host, Stephanie Hassett, and Caroline and Sana today. Next week, we'll discuss humor. We're going to close off the season with humor. Fun, more fun. So please come back and listen to us on St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 to learn more about the curious and fascinating ways of why we humans do what we do.
You are listening to Next Level Thinking on St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9.
Coronavirus is most likely to spread from person to person when we come into close contact with one another. We can all help stop the spread by keeping our distance. This means do not shake hands or exchange physical greetings, and wherever possible, stay at least 1.5 to 2 meters away from others. It's also really important to practice good hygiene, especially after being in public places. Together we can help stop the spread and stay healthy. Visit stmartingov.org/coronavirus or call 914 to learn more. This public service announcement is brought to you by the government of St. Martin. Think tsunamis only happen somewhere else? Think again. They've happened in the Caribbean and will happen again. Plan to act. If you are near the coast and feel the ground shaking severely, see an abnormal withdrawal of water, or hear an unusual roar, take action and quickly run to high ground. This message is brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
I am Shanisha Robinson, your reigning teen queen, with this message. More than 80% of our economy is dependent on tourism. Our beaches are severely under threat by massive plastic pollution. We cannot continue to destroy our beaches as our livelihoods depend on it. The next time you visit a beach, please take your trash with you or put it in the bin. Keep it clean, keep it blue. This message is brought to you by the St. Martin Tourism Bureau and the Department of Communication.